The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
I'm your girl, thePLAINESTjane, and let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. What up and welcome back. It's your girl Jane, thePLAINESTjane, and y'all know I serve syrup in the form of black news and celebrity entertainment here on my channel. This is a video that I'm not too happy that I have to make this video, but it must be discussed. It must be discussed because it's not getting any media attention. Not even that it's not getting as much media attention as it should. It's not getting any media attention at all. And this happened a while ago. I'm going to give you a trigger warning. If you feel like, listen, you want rainbows and sunshine, good news and laughter, you might need to click out of this video. I'm going to give you a trigger warning before I show the images. I have them blurred out right here on the screen right now, but I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to show you the actual images. And when I tell you they are grotesque and very similar, right, to an Emmett Till or Quawan Bobby Charles, and I covered that case here very well on YouTube. It's definitely one of those things. And I definitely need your help sharing this video and getting the news and the information out, because for one reason or another, it's not being covered. It's not being talked about. And the police just released on March 3rd a press release, and they're trying to cover their tracks, and the family thinks they're lying. So come on in, hit thumbs up, and you definitely want to share this video. When I tell you nobody's talking about this, go search his name on YouTube right now. I guarantee you won't see one YouTuber talking about it. Nothing but a handful of news clips. So we need to go ahead and get right into it. All right. The family's demanding justice, and I'm going to give you all a couple minutes to get in here. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to show you the images, and I'll give you another trigger warning at that time if you still want to get the info, but you just can't handle the pictures, and I totally understand. So on July 3rd, 2022, because that's how long ago it was, an unarmed black man, 24 years old, his name is Khalil Azad, okay? And he was presumably brutalized and beaten to death by police. Now, again, you can't find any information on this online, but I am going to give you the information based on the images. It sadly closely resembles and reminds us of, you know, Emmett Till, Quawan Bobby Charles, and honestly, numerous other ones. So actually what I'm going to do now, I'm moving a lot faster than I thought I would in this. I'm going to show the images, right? So look away. I tell you, your mental health is really important. You might look at these images, you might hear this story, and you might be sad for the rest of the evening. It's just one of those stories. So I'm going to give you a trigger warning. I'm about to show the images. And please just mind your mental health, whether you want to look at these images or look at this video at all. Okay. So I'm going to bring them up on the screen right now. Very, just very alarming, very alarming. I gave you the warnings. I gave you the warnings. Okay. There were some of his locks were pulled out of his hair. His body was found a few days later, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you the rundown of what this is. Okay. One more time, just to make sure everybody gets a chance to see it. It's, I told you, it's crazy. It's crazy. I definitely gave you all the heads up. Okay. So, this is enough to make your stomach turn. Okay. And so the family is saying that he was brutalized and he was beaten to death by the police, and there were canines sicked on him that attacked him. His body was found with all types of dog bites and scratches, right? So let me get into it and not get too ahead of myself and give you the details pertaining to this story. Now, in Robbinsdale, Minnesota is where this took place on July 3rd, 2022. The police executed a traffic stop of an unarmed black man. Now, his body was found 2 days later on July 5th, around 500 or 600 feet from the area in which the traffic stop occurred. Now, ironically enough, The police body cam footage was just released, and this was July 2022. And Khalil was nowhere to be seen in the footage. Okay. Interesting that they pulled someone over or tried to execute a traffic stop for one reason or another, and he's nowhere to be seen on the footage, but there were passengers in the vehicle, and the passengers are in the footage. Okay. Now, we're going to get into the press release. We're going to get into the medical examiner's report, which the family is saying, and I concur, I agree. The family is saying it's a flat up lie. The reason why, the family is saying it's a flat up lie is because he was found in 2 feet of water. He's 6 feet tall and he can swim, right? So his body was found floating 2 days later in 2 feet of water. And the medical examiner's report lists his cause of death as an accidental drowning. Sounds like Quawan Bobby Charles' story to me, okay? Like I said, his family refutes the medical examiner's report because it's accidental drowning. And with the family's disagreement and rejection of said findings, according to the family, the medical examiner's story, they don't add up, and the family considers the medical examiner's report to be gaslighting. Now, what I'm going to get into, I want to get into this quick news clip, and then we'll come right back with the rest of the information. You all, please do me a favor. This is not even for me. This is for this story. There's not one YouTube video on this story or this situation. It is so important that we not only get this video into the algorithm to get as much visibility and media attention as possible, but share this video on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, text message, your group chats, however it is that you share videos. Let's get into it.
First look at video showing Robbinsdale police pursuing a man days before he was found dead in a lake. It happened last summer.
His death is getting a second look after the man's family and activists questioned how he died and whether officers played a role. And just in the last few minutes, Khalil Azad's family released a statement. Fox 9's Rose Schmidt is following all of the breaking updates tonight. Rose.
Randy, Kelsey, Robbinsdale police released squad cam and body camera from 3 different officers, so 6 videos total. The video begins shortly after police tried to initiate a traffic stop and during a short chase. We've since learned 24-year-old Khalil Azad was driving that car, but we don't actually see him in any of this footage.
We got a vehicle that's fleeing from me, and it looks like it's going to crash here. Location. 81 drivers bailing.
Shortly after that, we see officers approach the car that has crashed, and while we don't see Khalil Azad, an officer references him here.
Driver bailed towards the lake running eastbound.
After that, we see the officers talk to the passengers. Police are looking for Azad, but more than a half hour goes by, and they still haven't found him.
I'm guessing he's long gone at this point, but so a lot of different directions he could have went. Police canine!
Then we see officers head into a wooded area. We see a canine and hear them talking about the State Patrol helicopter searching the area, but still no sign of Azad.
I think we're done, yeah. If we haven't picked up anything, I mean, we're looking at probably damn near an hour now.
We're also learning tonight the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension will conduct an independent investigation of Azad's death. So let's give you some background on this case. Azad was stopped by Robbinsdale police in July, they say on suspicion of drunk driving. 2 days later, he was found dead in Crystal Lake. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office says he accidentally drowned, but the case is getting a fresh look now after his family and activists questioned that cause of death. Officers say after they searched for Azad, they had no further interaction with him. But his family is pointing to autopsy photos they believe show dog bites along with other injuries they think police caused. And just into our newsroom in the last couple of minutes, Azad's family and activists releasing a statement saying they believe more officers were at the scene than what was in the police report, and they question why he was pulled over in the first place. They're also calling for the release of body camera from other agencies as well.
So that is the news clip, okay? What we're going to do in this video is we're going to go over the press release, what the police are saying. We're going to go over the medical examiner's report. I'm going to show you all those things. We're going to cover all those bases in this video. All right. Now, the autopsy says that there were no bruises on Khalil's body. However, the photos clearly show otherwise. If it was an accidental drowning, why are there dog bites on his face, his body, his arms, and his back? Mind you, when they were searching for him on foot, there were clearly canines out there that evening. That's obvious from the footage that I was able to take a look at. And so the family does fear retaliation for speaking out and demanding justice, but they're doing so anyway. So they do have some questions and they want answers accompanied by a list of demands, things that they want to happen. They want an outside investigation to look into the death of Khalil Azad and not the Robbinsdale Police Department. They want an investigation into the police's practices in the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office, and they want to suspend all K-9 units in the state of Minnesota. What I think is really sweet about this situation, as I've been looking into it the last couple of days, is there are some children activists, some teen activists, should I say, and they've really been doing a lot of boots on the ground work. They held a school walkout on Monday. So they planned to walk out and demand justice. And they were flooding the streets, a couple of different schools in that area. They're posting as many photos as they can to try to keep his name alive. The thing is, I just haven't seen anybody talking about it, but I do applaud those Minnesota teen activists for doing what needs to be done. There was a rally held the other day. And there's also going to be another rally or a peaceful protest in opposition to the Robbinsdale Police Department that they're going to be holding later on this evening. So now what I want to do is I want to get into the documentation. And then I'm going to let you know a little bit about his background, because I see that that's coming up from some white supremacists, right? And this is stuff that literally you can only find in the nooks and crannies of Twitter or maybe even Facebook. But you've got some ignorant white racist people who are literally saying, well, why do you run from the cops? If you don't run from the cops, you still be alive. Just ignorant. So I want to cover all of our bases here so that you're not surprised if and when you continue to spread the word about this, you're not hit with any zingers, and you know how to keep his story alive and overcome any of these idiotic white supremacist objections. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the press release, and then we're going to get into the medical examiner's report. All right. And like I said, please hit thumbs up on this video and please share this thing via text message. If everybody could share this video with at least one person or on their Facebook or whatever the case is, it may just do something to get more people talking. And it seems that the police, that this police department, they're finally catching heat, because why is it that they're just starting to release press releases? I think that they see that it's heating up in Minnesota, although it's not really heating up nationwide. So now they're trying to cover their bases, and now they're coming out with documents and a narrative of what happened that evening, when beforehand they had no care in the world to do that. Okay, so let's get into this press release. This is a press release that was released on the 27th of February. It says here, on July 3rd at 1:27 hours, police officers attempted to make a probable cause DWI traffic stop in the 4200 block of County Road 81. The vehicle did not pull over and a pursuit was initiated. The driver lost control of the vehicle and the vehicle came to a stop. One person in the vehicle, there was an adult male that fled the scene of the traffic stop and was never located despite a search of the area of the police department with the assistance of the sheriff's office, neighboring agencies, and the Minnesota State Patrol Flight Division. Based on a review of body-worn camera footage, police officers did not have any contact with the person who fled the scene. Officers did speak with the two passengers who were in the vehicle, and neither passenger identified the driver. 2 days after the traffic stop, a body of a male was recovered in Crystal Lake by a citizen. This past September, the medical examiner's office ruled the death to be an accidental drowning. You can find that report here. We're going to look at it soon in a second. I'm just wondering why it took them from July to September to come up with that. So his body was found on July 5th, but it wasn't until September that we actually got an official ruling from the medical examiner's office. I find that to be interesting. Here's the timeline that they're giving us. They say on the 3rd at the hours. Okay, so this is basically all of the details of the paragraph that I just read. The suspect hit a curb, they hit the tree, they fled on foot. Officers spoke with the male and female passengers of the vehicle. Minnesota State Patrol helicopter was requested and used a thermal imaging system to search the area, and the suspect was not located. At approximately 1:48 hours, K9 track started by the Plymouth Police Department, and no suspect was located. Now, mind you, they even have here that they were using K9s. At approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes, K9 track and Minnesota State Patrol helicopter terminated their search. On July 5th, at approximately 12:50, Robbinsdale officers were dispatched to Crystal Lake on reports of a body located in the water along the shoreline. Officers arrived on the scene and located a male who was face down in the water. The male was determined to be deceased on the scene. The sheriff's office conducted the water-related death investigation. The medical examiner identified the deceased male, and the family then contacted, let's go to the next page, then contacted the Robbinsdale Police Department. At that time, it was learned that the deceased male was the driver that had fled the scene on the 3rd of July. They say on the 5th, they dispatched the body, at 12:50, dispatched 2 body located in the lake. The sheriff's office conducted the search, and they released the cause of death report as a freshwater drowning, but they don't have a date for that. They could have easily put September right there, but it wouldn't look right in that short narrative of the timeline. Now, here is the police department with this press release basically trying to protect their cops and what's been said about them by the locals in the area. So they say social media posts say that Sergeant Khan, regarding this sergeant, have circulated over the past several days. They've been linked to false claims by those posting and sharing. The correct information is as follows. Sergeant Khan was not involved in any police activity related to either case on July 3rd nor July 5th, and it should be noted that he was not on duty during these days. Sergeant Khan is not involved with any motorcycle groups or gangs, nor has he ever been. It's interesting that they're trying to CYA, cover their ass, instead of having any sort of remorse for this family and what they're going through, knowing that this medical examiner's report doesn't make any sense at all. Okay. Continuing on, let's take a look at the medical examiner's report, because you know I have it all for you. So here we can see the medical examiner's report. We have his name here. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. Zip code, state Minnesota. His name is Khalil Azad, 24 years old, black male, Buffalo. Location of injury, Crystal Lake. Date of death, 7/5/22. Time of death, approximately 12:50. Location of the death, again, Crystal Lake. Okay. Interesting. I didn't see a date on here, despite the fact that the press release said that it was in September. Again, there's no one making noise and talking about this, and those images kind of speak for themselves. We may not know exactly what happened, but we know that that 6-foot-tall man did not accidentally drown in 2 feet of water without the assistance of some sort of brutal, malicious, evil force, right? He was 6 foot tall. It was 2 feet of water, and he could swim. I mean, can you even swim in 2 feet of water? It's 2 feet. Like, you can't even. So this is a really crazy situation. Now, here is the bit of texture that I see. Again, you know, the ignorant white supremacists and whatnot. Some of the things that I see them saying pertaining to this, as if it's an excuse for the police to brutalize him, beat him to death, and dump his body in some water, right? So let's talk about it. So there's a person saying that he had a warrant, in which he did. That's true. He did have a warrant. A felony for fleeing law enforcement, a felony bench warrant. And you know what? Let me just put it on the screen. Okay. Let's just get it on the screen and let you see it for yourself. So let's zoom in a bit. So yes, did he have a record? Yes. This is what he looked like. Handsome man. Very handsome guy. Okay. But this is his record. But still, record or not, I'm not going to leave it out and act like he didn't have one, but that's still not an excuse for them to kill him. That's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Okay? Warrant for fleeing a vehicle, 511. Bench warrant, something related to a firearm, 519. And another bench warrant, something with an alleged financial transaction. Okay? So, you know, just to make it clear, you know, when people are having these conversations and they want to be ignorant with it, guilty or not, first of all, everybody, number one, needs to have their day in court. Okay? That does not give the police an excuse to do what they did to this young man. It just doesn't. It doesn't. And I needed to bring some attention to this. Okay? These injuries make no sense. I'm not going to show the images again because they're in the beginning of the video and they're very difficult to look at. Okay, just make sure if and when you rewind to take a look at those images of the injuries, trigger warning, brace yourself because it's really grotesque. Okay. I had to bring the story to you because it just doesn't make any sense. And I want to be a part of spreading awareness, and hopefully more people talk about it. Hopefully I see more Black content creators or journalists or whoever talking and spreading awareness about this story. It's definitely very much so needed. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I'll hang around for about 5 minutes and we have another video to get to directly after this, a live stream. I got off work and I got straight to work. I'm like, I have to talk about this. And I literally have 3 lives lined up for this evening. So it's going to be a busy night full of content. The next video is not going to be a sad one, but this was something that I'm like, I'm not talking about anything else until I get home and I talk about this. I was going to talk about this during my lunch break, but I wasn't quite finished putting together all of the images and making sure I had a concise narrative to give you all. And I wanted to do him justice by talking about this. Okay. There have been rallies. As a matter of fact, while I see if any of you all have any questions, I'll show you a couple different images of the family speaking out really quick.
Smile and I just know that we all know looking at those pictures there's something that needs to be done and it shouldn't keep happening. He also had a daughter on the way 2 months after his death.
Daughter on the way. Wow.
You know, that's all he cared about was his baby, and he always made sure to tell us, take care of his daughter. So we get to cherish his daughter and he's still here with us. He appreciates everyone. I know that. I know that he appreciates everyone. He's here, and I know he's okay.
Thank you. All right, so that's that. Here is his mother speaking out. Oh Lord, this is definitely not what I wanted to click on. Hold on. All right, here's the link to. We're gonna watch the clip of his mother speaking out.
To thank everyone for your support, and I just want justice and I want answers because it's not. I don't want another family like mine to go through what we've been going through. It's been very difficult, and Khalil was a sweetheart. He was my best friend. I love him. He knows I love him, and he loved me, and he was a good person. Very good. And he was always smiling. He was so happy and funny. And he didn't deserve to die like this. God bless you all. And I'm here to thank everyone for your support. And I just want justice.
Okay. Here are the students who walked out of school. They planned a walkout to honor him and bring some awareness. I'm telling you, these teen activists are on it. I mean, just my hats go off to them. Okay. So that's that. The last thing that I found to be really interesting, shall I say, is the Robbinsdale Police Department's Facebook page when they decided to release this. Let me remove my watermark really quickly. When they decided they wanted to release this information, and they put it out, the press release and the medical examiner's report, they decided that they turned all comments off. Do y'all see this? The City of Robbinsdale Police Department limited who can comment on this post, which is no one. No one's allowed to comment on this post. I wonder why they don't want people having conversations directly on their page pertaining to this situation, when it seems they never cared about it to begin with. His body was found on July the 5th. They didn't get an autopsy report and an official cause of death until September. July, August, September, 2 months. Interesting. And in the press release, it's like, hey, stop associating this cop with this. No remorse for the people. And now they're just releasing. Why didn't this press release come out then? I guess they thought the family or the city wouldn't make enough noise about the situation. Well, now that it's picking up some steam, at least locally, now they're like, okay, we got to do something about this. It's starting to swell. Let's protect ourselves and put out a narrative. So this is all that I have pertaining to this situation. Make sure you at least have the conversation with somebody. If you can't share, don't want to share, don't know how to share, have the conversation with somebody. Things like this, they really need to stop. Will they ever stop, baby? Before, I don't know, but this is cruel. It's unusual. And that's pretty much it. There's another live that I have coming up right after this. Make sure you all stay tuned for that. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I see some people straggling in saying, hey, I need to rewind. Please carry yourself with caution when you go back and you rewind and you watch. I see there are quite a few people that came in late. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for checking the community tab. Thank you for subscribing to the backup channel. And I appreciate you trusting me to bring you Black news and celebrity entertainment, which is what I call syrup over here on my channel. Don't forget to do something to decompress today and make yourself feel better. And let me know your thoughts on this situation. Keep your sticky and real down below. And I will see y'all in about 10 minutes with our next video. Deuces. But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.